Hey, it's Kevin Orleman, number 29 for your Panther City Lacrosse Club.
And Stephen Orleman, number 30 with your New York Riptide. And you're watching Lacrosse Link, your link to all things lacrosse.
Hey there, lacrosse friends. Welcome to Lacrosse Link, your link to all things lacrosse. Thanks for being with us here, whether you are watching on Lax Sports Network every Thursday at 8 o'clock or on the archive trays on the LSN site or on our YouTube page. Really appreciate you being with us. I'm Stephen Stamp, your host. Great guests this week. Two of the hottest players in lacrosse. Joe Resetarits, 19 points in 2 games with the Albany FireWolves over the weekend in their home and home with the Georgia Swarm. And at the Arena Lacrosse League level, Brine, he's playing defense transition. He had 16 points in 2 games, 3 goals and 5 assists in each of 2 games. Peterborough winning both of those games. And we have a great rundown, lots to cover in the world of lacrosse. So thanks for being with us. Stick around for the rundown. Enjoy Brine, Joe Resetarits here on Lacrosse Link, your link to all things lacrosse.
Beautiful play, Aaron Gray Eyes. He is having himself a tournament. He made the save regardless of the crease call, and that shows he is at his acrobatic. In the middle, it just bounces off, but it's picked up and scored.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Joining me from the Albany FireWolves is Joe Resetarits. Welcome to the show. Great to have you on and great to catch up.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's good talking to you again.
It has been a while. I keep trying to think about when the last time I saw people was, and it might have been Worlds in Langley. That since we've seen each other, I don't know.
Yeah, that feels like 10 years ago when that happened.
Really remember it, right?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. It feels like, it's definitely been a long time. That's for sure.
Yeah. So great to catch up, as I said, and interesting to see the way that your season is going in Albany. What a weekend you had. First of all, I just want to say, 7 goals, 12 assists as of right now. I don't think they've been reviewed yet when we're recording this, but 19 points in a weekend. I know you would have loved to come out with a pair of W's. I'm sure you prefer the game where you had the 8 points to the one where you had 11 because you did win. But have you ever had a weekend where you scored 19 points at any level? I was trying to think like last time maybe, but I don't know that you ever played enough games to get that many.
I don't know. I mean, maybe one of the all-time greats could have did that. I like I said, it's the first time I've done anything like that. But like you said, it would be nice, obviously, to get both wins. But going 1-1 in a back-to-back weekend is huge. And I think we are going to take a lot of positives out of this weekend because we showed a lot of character on who we are. We obviously playing the same team back-to-back. It's not always easy, and so we knew they were going to be going through the same thing as us. It's the travel part of. Yes, the travel aspect of it is really tough. And we had a lot of flight issues. Obviously we're on the same flight as Georgia. So we ran into some flight issues but both teams had to go right to the arena. But, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Everyone was tired, and be a lot different routine than usual, but we all, knew that we had to get a win. We dropped one Friday night and it didn't matter how it happened, as long as we got the win at the end of the night, and everyone, did that little extra thing to make sure we got that win, which is, a great sign. It showed a lot of character on who we were.
What were the travel issues? It sounded like a horrific night that you all had, both teams, like you said, getting from Georgia to Albany overnight.
It was so I don't know. We were about to leave. I think 1 o'clock, maybe Saturday, and obviously we got the announcement they delayed the flight. And I guess there's an airport issue in Albany. There was only one gate open at the time, and a lot of from what the people were saying in the gate and everything, that a lot of the planes were frozen to the ground, which is crazy to me. Thinking in Albany, New York, they'd have some sort of way to de-ice the planes, being in a cold city. So we went through that
too, right?
What's that?
And have a plan to do it, like when it's the weather's coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it, and we heard that there was a flight that was delayed 19 hours. That was from Atlanta to Albany. So we had to wait for that one to leave. When we heard that news, I don't know if we're going to be playing this game. But it all worked out in our favor. I mean, it wasn't too long of a wait, so, but when we landed, obviously get into the gate was kind of, another long process. It took about 45 minutes for us to get off the plane after we landed. And, we had to go right to the arena. Didn't even have our suits on. Both teams went right to the arena and tried getting their routines in as best you could.
Yeah. Wow. Obviously worked out for you guys. And I think, you talked about some of the things that happened this weekend and what you learned from it. And one, I think, interesting thing looking at your season, you had so much change. I mean, Callum Crawford goes, you bring in Jacob Rouet, and, you've got different guys in the rotation. Charlie Kitchen is in, finally getting a chance to play. There's a lot of moving pieces in the roster. And I think it would be expected that it would take a little while to find chemistry, to really gel. And I thought it was funny because after your first two games, when you lost a close game to Toronto and then had a bad game against Rochester, you got beat pretty badly and just didn't play well at all. And I saw a lot of panic, not from your team. I don't think anybody was panicking on the team, but I just saw people outside saying, "Oh, Albany's not very good. Look at what's happening. Oh my goodness, we thought they'd be better." I was like, it's two games. And it feels like the defense has been good the whole way. And it was really the O that's been coming along gradually. It must have felt good to really click and feel like you guys are getting to where I'm sure you thought you were going to get eventually.
Yeah. Our O, we base our team off of a Dougie. I mean, Dougie's our backbone, heart and soul of our team. And I mean, he's, start where he left off the last time he played. And I think somehow he got way better than he was that year, which is crazy. And, we also have a really great D in front of him that we brought, I would say, majority of it back. I mean, we added some good pieces with Adrian Sorocchetti. But like you said, we lost Callum, we lost Steph. We had a lot of goals to make up for, and everyone knew that. Our left side was already in good shape, but our right side was new. We had two rookies, Tanner Thompson and Charlie Kitchen, and Rooster, who's been a vet in this league too, but none of us have played together. And obviously, taking a year and a half off and trying to get back into a rhythm, all of us just figuring out how to get, back in the motion and swing of things. It took a while. And like you said, the close game in Toronto, a lot of rust was shaken off that game, and we could have played probably the worst possible game we could have played against Rochester. But, I think that was a huge wake up call for us that, it's two games. Like you said, whoever who knows the sport knows how different a season can change at this level. And, we had a big wake up call. Clarkie gave us a big, it's time to turn this thing around. It's like, we know, no one in the world probably thinks we're any good. But the only people who think we're good is in this locker room and the coaches, management, everything. And, we knew that. And, I think we took that personally, what happened those first two games. And it's been a process, winning low scoring games, but a win's a win. And like this past weekend, our starting to click. And, on Saturday, we finally got a game where O and D both did their jobs.
So moving forward, obviously that's the goal. Like you said, Doug Jamieson, reigning goalie of the year and playing just as well, if not in some ways better, with his commitment to fitness and a lot of things. I actually thought a really interesting thing with Doug Jamieson was in the first game when he raced out to the boards against Toronto and picked up that loose ball, like actually reached into the pile and pulled it out. I don't know if Clarkie or the rest of you want him doing that all the time, running over to the boards, but it's pretty interesting to see commitment like that from one end of the floor to the other.
Yeah, he's the player he's become. It's words can't explain it. How important he is to our team. And like you said, seeing something like that, we need to get the ball, and he runs out and does it himself. I mean, that shows you a true competitor right there. And and the approach he took to get in shape this season. He came into camp looking unbelievable. And as good as he was, 2 years ago, he's, 100 times that right now. From the way I look at it, I mean, the kid is, he's unbelievable. And, it's finally a game I know we got to help him out finally.
Well, appreciate you taking the time. I know it was a long weekend, a lot going on. You've got busy family life, so appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. And it's really nice to catch up. Hope we get to see you at a rink in person again soon, because it's just been far too long for getting together with everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, Stamper.
Joining me on a lacrosse link from the Peterborough Timbermen, the 2-0 Peterborough Timbermen, is Brine Rice. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Steven Sam. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you on. And I was thinking, okay, who do I want to have on this week? And I was thinking, okay, who's done something that really jumped out to me this weekend? And I was calling your game, the Peterborough Timbermen game in Millbrook on Saturday. I hadn't seen any arena lacrosse league action, obviously, for about 2 years. Nobody hadn't had a chance to see you play, I think probably since the President's Cup in 2019 in Ganawage, I would think, right?
Yeah, that would be the last organized lacrosse I was playing was the President's Cup back in 2019. And other than that, after that pandemic happened, so there was no leagues to play in. So kind of just had to stay in shape while the pandemic was going on.
Yeah, it seems like it's worked, because that's one of the first things that jumped out to me, because I remember watching you play in Junior A when you were with the Junior A Peterborough Lakers, and of course you played Junior B up in Ganawage, right? And Ganawage or Akwesasne?
It was Ganawage.
It was Ganawage. I doubted myself for a moment, but that was one of the things that always stood out, was your blazing speed, and it doesn't look like you've lost a step. You were flying around the floor on Saturday, then again on Sunday. And it was really interesting to me to see, because I think, there was some discussion, I think, back in the day of whether you're a forward, whether you're a defense transition player. And I know, even talking to Joe Sullivan, your coach with the Timbermen, he said, boy, I'd kind of like to go up front at forward because he's so talented, but man, like you play really solid defense, and that speed just created so many opportunities. I wound up with 3 goals and 5 assists on Saturday, another 3 and 5 on Sunday, as the Timbermen go 2-0 and score 45 goals. What was the weekend like for you, getting back into playing and joining this club and things going so smoothly?
Well, I mean, to get things going, I was really excited talking to Joe Sullivan, getting on the team. So, I mean, I had something to build up for, and just to work on the speed and cardio throughout the time. The first 2-3 weekends got postponed, so I had some more time to just stay ready, stay focused. And then just the excitement of playing against another team and being with some new guys in Peterborough, and just being along with the guys really brought that excitement back out. And I just wanted to showcase what I had.
Have you ever had a weekend before where you had 8 points in each of a couple of games, 3 and 5 in both of them? I know you've had some big weekends, but have you ever done that, 16 points in the 2 games?
No, honestly, I can't remember. It just happened, and I mean, that goes back to the blazing speed. I tried to use that as best of my abilities, honestly, and I think my teammates did a fantastic job at head manning the ball, and I just had to do my part in finishing.
One of the keys, of course, to being a successful transition player is playing solid defense first. And again, Joe Sullivan, your coach, I was talking to him earlier today, and he said, I didn't remember him being that good on defense, like so sturdy, but also just stripping balls and just causing all kinds of problems for the opposition. It looks like something that you've really worked on, because it wasn't, I mean, coming up through junior, you could do so much with your speed and your talent that, like so many guys, I think when you were told, hey, you're going to play a lot more D transition, you had to work on that side of the game. And I don't know how you would do it over the last 2 years, but it looks like you just mentally really are feeling that D position and really feeling like you know what you're doing.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I was a little immature, so I did not know where I wanted to play. It was more or less just going where the coaches put me and just try to adapt to the situation. But I have to use my speed. That's a key point, key strong point for mine. So I had to just, really focus on not cheating, not giving up the easy plays. That will happen. That's lacrosse, that's the game. But I mean, it's how you respond to the mistakes and that. And I think I just have to do a better job at cleaning all that up on the D end.
That's interesting to hear, because if there was a question, because with the talent you had and your speed, it was, I thought, a bit of a surprise when you were taken in the 6th round back in the NLL draft by Rochester. I heard people talking about you as a potential 1st round pick, 1st or 2nd. I thought, because there was some question about what you'd play and how committed you were to playing defense at that time, that maybe you would slip a bit, but you fell further than I think anyone really thought. And I don't know how much of a chance you've had in the NLL, but I'm watching you on the weekend and I'm thinking, this may be the best player who's not in the National Lacrosse League right now, based on the way you played this weekend. Obviously with the pandemic, there haven't been a lot of chances to show anything, but have you heard from anybody? Is there any, are you just hoping that maybe you get a call at some point to get another shot?
I haven't heard from anybody yet. So I just got to keep plugging away at my game, making it better. We got a whole week before we head back out to Oshawa. So I just got to keep the body, at tip-top shape, just for when I do get a call, or if I do get a call, I'll be ready for that moment. But I mean, I was a little, like I said, a little immature. I didn't really know where I was playing. So now that I have a clear understanding of what I want to do and how I want to do it, I'm going to do it at the best of my ability. And, if I can help out anybody in the NLL, I will do so.
I think it's really visible on the floor. You looked like a different player to me, and in a really good way. Like, you were always talented, like I said, but you just look so, you've got, like you said, maturity is such a big thing for athletes. And I'm wondering how your body is feeling after, jumping into 2 games this Saturday, Sunday, and playing 2 full games after so long without getting into a game.
Oh, my body right now is a little sore. It's been about 2 years. And then playing transition up and down for the 2 games, it did take a little toll right now. So I got to do a better job at the recovery part.
So what's, I don't know. Obviously, you want to adjust and figure things out based on how you feel after this one. But how much more prepared could you be? It sounds like you were working to stay in shape and stay fit. How much more prepared can you be for actual games when you haven't had a chance to play, right? It's just figuring out what's going to work now as you go along.
Yeah, that's the ALL, it's a developmental league. So I'm in the league for a reason. I have to be developed more. So the mistakes, like I said, that it will happen. Mm-hmm. Like how you respond to those mistakes, how you pick it up and clean it up for the next shift is really how I'm trying to look at it. And I think Peterborough right now is giving me that opportunity over the weekend with the 2 games that are kind of letting me play how I play. So I'm able to go back and forth and that. So I got to just keep that up and just really stay focused for what's next to come.
Sully said, don't pump his tires too much. Don't be telling everyone how well he played, because I need to have him to make sure we get into the playoffs. But he was kidding. Of course, he said after, like, no, I'm happy for him if he goes up. Always, that's the whole point of guys, or a large part of the point of guys playing in the ALL, is to get that chance to go to the next level. And I would be surprised if your phone's not ringing. And I was really impressed. It was fun to see you out playing again, and fun to see you having so much fun. It looked like you really enjoyed being on the floor and really enjoyed competing.
I will be honest with you. I think I've missed that over the past couple of years. It was really just having fun and like being with the guys, like, you know, enjoying your time and being with them. I did drift away from that a little. Like I wasn't having as much fun as I should have had, but being back with them, it just you know, clicked with me where I've seen some familiar faces. I've met some new players as well. So it was really just I was connected right away. Like they brought me in, and we were just gelling along.
Well, it was a lot of fun for me too to get to see you play, and I know all the fans enjoyed seeing it. The games are available on the JVI Sports Network YouTube page and on the Arena Lacrosse League website that will be embedded soon, so everyone can go and check it out, and I certainly encourage them to do so. If you're an NLL GM looking for a responsible defensive player with some real transition upside, I'd make a call if I were them. Brine, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you, your openness and your time.
Thank you, Stamper. Appreciate it.
Hi, this is Jaden with Al Anderson Source for Sports. Excited to tell you that we got all our new lacrosse product in for this upcoming season. Whether you're playing box or field, our lacrosse experts are going to make sure we get you into the right equipment to elevate your game. At Al Anderson Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
All right. Hope you enjoyed those interviews with Joe Resetarits and Brine Rice, a couple of guys who had amazing weekends last weekend. There's a lot more going on in the world of lacrosse, though, so let's get to the rundown. And we start with a big controversy, a contentious issue. The Tewaaraton Lacrosse League has announced that they have sued the Ontario Lacrosse Association. It has come out that it is for $2.2 million. And obviously it's been a bone of contention between these leagues since last summer, when the Ontario Lacrosse Association announced right before a combine that the TLL had organized in conjunction with the National Lacrosse League that they would ban any player who took part in the combine or in the TLL in any way for 2 years from playing in an Ontario Lacrosse Association leagues or for Team Ontario, Team Canada. Pretty big movement by the OLA, and it's not really a surprise that this has gone to litigation. Looking at the face of it, just from the outside, and I'm not a lawyer, it seems fairly obvious that the TLL would win this case if they were to go to court. We'll see. I can't imagine it will get to court. You would have to think the OLA at some point would want to settle. The question is, what are they willing to compromise on? What do they feel they can live with? And what will the TLL be willing to accept? I don't think it's going to be resolved soon, but hopefully for the good of everyone in the game, for the growth of the game, we can see some resolution to this issue and just, let people play. We all want to see the kids play. Some really good news coming from south of the border in the U.S. collegiate leagues. The women's lacrosse on ESPN, there will be 450 women's collegiate games streamed. A handful of games on over-the-air television and other platforms, but 450, a huge step. I know the men's schedule was announced first, and there's a bit of a hue and cry from the fans and supporters of the female game saying, hey, what about women's games? And wow, were they answered in a big way. Great news to see a real commitment from ESPN to airing games of women's lacrosse. There's a huge fan base. There are lots of people that want to see this. And honestly, with Charlotte North playing in the league, she may, as we've said on here before, she may be the best college lacrosse player anywhere. Male, female, doesn't matter. She is amazing. But there's lots of players and teams that are well worth watching. So great news there. Speaking of collegiate lacrosse and a tie to the National Lacrosse League here, the 1-2 punch from Duke University is unbelievable. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of very good players, obviously. But with Dyson Williams and Brennan O'Neill, you have a couple of incredible talents. They're doing amazing things. Just watch what they did over the weekend as Duke won a pair of games, beating Robert Morris and Vermont. Huge wins for Duke. And these guys are incredible. O'Neill puts up 6 the first day. They both have hat tricks in the second game. And the cool thing is that they could depending on how things work out, it's hard to say what everyone will do with the extra year of eligibility granted to players because of COVID. But they could be the first overall picks in the National Lacrosse League draft in 2023 and 2024. Dyson Williams right now is scheduled for 23, and he is the top contender, I would think, in a pretty strong top of that class with guys like Callum Jones and Ryan Sheridan and Matthew Wright. There's some very good players going to be in that class, and I'm sure I've missed some as well. 24, as of right now, would be Brendan O'Neill's year, but who knows? Will he go back for another year? We'll see how things play out for both of them, but they are both going to be very high picks, and no wonder Duke is so explosive offensively with that kind of talent. A less visible, less known tournament, the Alpine Cup, took place last weekend. It was held outside of Zurich in Austria, with Austria, Switzerland, and Germany all taking part, and it's pretty cool. I just heard about it from Neil Doddridge coaching the Swiss team. He was very excited because it was the first time that Switzerland has beaten Germany in competition. So big news for the Swiss, but just cool to see that kind of thing going on. And what you're seeing on your screen is the view from the patio outside the rink. And there are some lovely spots. I mean, British Columbia, you're going to see some great views, but seeing the Alps outside of the tournament venue, it's a pretty special little weekend for the three national teams and everyone taking part. And the Arena Lacrosse League East finally able to get underway after so many delays and cancellations, things being put off by restrictions in Ontario, by the COVID protocols, necessary, but still very frustrating for everyone involved. So they get underway. There are 4 games. What a wild week of scoring. There were 4 games. In 3 of them, a team scored at least 20 goals. The other one was a 9-7 game, Toronto over Oshawa, which is a strange outlier in such a wild scoring weekend. But the Peterborough Timbermen played 2 games. They won the first one 20-11 over the Paris Riverwolves in a game that was actually very close. It was 10-9 at one point, and then they just exploded. And the other game, they go down to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena and play the St. Catharines Shockwave and win 25-18. That sets the record for most goals in an Arena Lacrosse League game, and also ties the record for most goals by one team in an Arena Lacrosse League game. So wild weekend to open it up. It would appear that the shooters shook off the rust a little earlier than the goalies and defenders. So lots more going on. You can check those games out. They're posted on the JVI YouTube page generally. They were up and then they disappeared. We'll see what's going on with that, but they do get posted on the Arena Lacrosse League page embedded, so you can go check them out. And it was exciting. Brian Rice, we talked about him, what a weekend he had. And, you know, there are lots of other players having some great weekends in the Arena Lacrosse League. The National Lacrosse League has hit its 1/3 mark. We're just a little bit past that. So we're starting to get a sense of how things are going in the NLL. We're starting to get a feel for what the season's going to be like. And, you know, you look at the East, as expected, Buffalo's the class of the division, of the league. And then, also as expected, there is a battle on for the other 3 guaranteed spots in the playoffs. The East can get a 5th spot if their 5th place team has a better record than the 4th place team in the West. Right now, that would be the case. But you look at these teams all so closely bunched. 3 teams with 4 wins, Philly with 5 wins, but also 4 losses. Georgia is a good team, and right now they're on the outside looking in, and they're not far from out of it, but boy, things have to go well for them. They're going to have to do some really good work to get back into the playoff race. In the West, San Diego, Colorado, I think people thought they'd be pretty good. I don't know if anybody thought they'd be as good as they have been. Various questions on both teams with some changes and things. And San Diego, of course, having to run out a pair of goalies who'd never played in the league before. And they go out and win those games. So both of those teams doing very well. You have to figure Saskatchewan is going to rise. They've started to play better. Their last game was a big win, their first dominant win. It was against Panther City, the expansion team, but they started to look more like the Saskatchewan Rush we're used to. We'll see how that carries on, if they can rise up into the playoff ranks. Calgary's in tough. It was interesting, Kirk Milosky at halftime of their game last weekend said, well, we're ahead, but we were ahead last week, and we need to play full 60 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. They couldn't. They got shut out in the 4th quarter for the 2nd straight game. So, you know, it's tough for them. Vancouver's lost Mitch Jones. Of course, Panther City is is the expansion club. They're in rough shape. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how things are playing out. But a lot more coming this weekend as the NLL rolls forward apace. We will continue to bring you all the coverage of the National Lacrosse League and all things lacrosse here on Lacrosse Link. I'm your host, Steven Stamp. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next time.